We interrupt this program for a 5 on Your Side special report.
Is everyone ready? Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mitch McCoy. I'm the Director of Public Affairs and Information for the St. Louis Metropolitan Police. We have an update today, this morning, on the efforts that are underway across parts of our city for search and rescue and trying to protect property. I'm going to introduce Mayor Cara Spencer to introduce everyone else and to give us an update. But after Mayor Spencer, Governor Mike Kehoe will provide an update, along with Fire Chief Dennis Jankerson, Police Chief Robert Tracy, and then United States Senator Eric Schmidt. Please keep in mind, things are still rapidly evolving. We actually just got an update a few minutes ago that we're still trying to gather details on. I anticipate that at some point the City of St. Louis will be providing another update later today to provide even more information. So in the meantime, I'll introduce Mayor Cara Spencer.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I just want to say we are obviously still grieving. The governor and I just got done surveying some of the hardest hit areas here. The devastation is truly tremendous. We've also we've gathered folks here today, but as I said, we are just a city that's really grieving. We know as of right now the death toll is unfortunately at 5, but we know that hasn't changed since last night. That's a good thing. We know that as of right now this morning, 38 people have been reported injured. We do not know the severity of those injuries, but we are continuing, as Mitch pointed out, really focusing on lives, saving lives, and making sure that we are protecting lives moving forward. I want to give a huge shout out to our first responders who have been around the clock since this started at 2:30 yesterday afternoon. There has not been a break in the response and the focus truly on making sure we're keeping people safe here. Many people worked throughout the night without a break, and they're still here this morning. Thank you. A few updates on city services. We, as you know, declared a state of emergency last night that really propelled all of our city services to be on point. City forestry, cutting down trees, getting the streets passable was our first priority. They did an enormous amount of work. Parks, forestry, all of those city services, ensuring that first responders and residents could get through our streets. Thank you. Disaster recovery, debris removal has been a big part of that as well. After clearing streets, our priority number 2 is traffic signals and making sure that we can get people safely through our streets. We know that the devastation is truly tremendous. We are estimating right now about 5,000 buildings have been impacted, and we do have our building department, our inspectors are out there making sure that we are first and foremost assessing the damage, to be condemning buildings and moving through demolition and other security as we go through this. Ameren and our other utilities, I see representatives here. They have been on point helping make sure that we are taking down lines. There are still lines down. We just got down taking a survey through. We know that they are working around the clock to secure those downed areas, those down utility areas. As we move through into recovery and the part of this operation that will be assisting residents, we are going to be announcing in the coming hours resources. We're gathering. So many people and organizations throughout the region have been offering to step up. I know many of those of you watching want to help. We will be providing paths to do that in the coming hours as we get that organized here today. I'll turn it over now to the governor. Thank you so much. I want to say the governor of our state, Mike Kehoe, flew in this morning. has been on point, providing resources from the state and making this just a really, truly united front here. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Unfortunate to be in my home city under these circumstances, but I was on the phone with the mayor within the hour. Our state emergency management agency was in contact with her emergency managers, both here in the city and in the county, within the hour. We've deployed multiple resources through SEMA up to the state, including several urban search and rescue teams. There's 5 in the area, 3 in the city. Missouri Task Force 1 and their 84 members were deployed and arrived on scene last night around midnight. We've had several fire search and rescue teams that are deployed from community fire districts that have come together here. We're putting all hands on deck to make sure that we can assist the city and local authorities as much as possible. Obviously, Missouri State Highway Patrol is on scene as well to assist in any way that the chief needs help with. I would echo the mayor's response or comments that our first responders, both in fire and police, have been incredible heroes in this moment. And this is when you really see the goodness of Missouri, when you see these men and women step up and help their friends and neighbors that they've never met, just try to restore some essential services. I've been on the phone this morning with the CEO of Ameren, Marty Lyons. He is working on updates on restoring power. I know that's a big issue next to public safety, obviously, is also restoring power. They're making some inroads, but the devastation is incredible. Pole damage is unbelievable. He is providing and getting resources from as far away from Kansas City with Evergy, who has sent crews overnight to help him, along with other municipal-owned utilities, as well as our electric co-ops, providing inventory that they need, transformers, poles, linemen if needed, etc. So those coordination efforts are going on as well. I also have been on the phone with Convoy of Hope. They have an assessment team here in the area already. They'll be sending up supplies out of Springfield, as well as other NGO, non-government organizations that our SEMA office, Melissa Friel, is coordinating as well. And last but not least, I'm thankful that our representatives are here from the local area as well as our state senators. This is their backyard as well. I work with these men and women in Jefferson City all the time, and they're committed to making sure that you restore the resources as quickly as possible. Grateful for Senator Schmidt being here on the scene immediately. All of our federal delegation is aware of what's happening here, including Wesley Bell, who I've talked to several times. And last but not least, I got a great phone call this morning at 8 a.m. from Secretary Kristi Noem, and who wanted to assure us that FEMA and Region 7, who we operate under, who has already been in contact with our State Emergency Management Agency, stands ready to help us. And I'm grateful to Secretary Noem, and I know it's through U.S. Senator Schmidt's effort because of their relationship, was on the scene with me, on the phone, I should say, immediately this morning, wanting to know what they could do. So grateful for their efforts. My staff has been in touch with the White House all night long as well, keeping that administration up to speed. With that, I'll introduce Chief, where's the Chief? Chief Tracy is here, or Chief Jenkerson, either one of you?
Chief Jenkerson.
Dennis Jenkerson, Fire Department.
Good morning, everyone. St. Louis Fire Department and the surrounding fire community, the regional assets, were moved into the St. Louis City early yesterday afternoon, right after the tornado hit. We finished up at about 2:30 in the morning, searching approximately 4,000 homes. This was a quick search done by 17 different teams, team members of about 6 members, inside, outside. Every search we made has been cataloged, logged, and put into a database. Today, Missouri Task Force 1, their members are on scene. They came out of Boone County. They're in. We're going to do more of a technical search today using boom mics, cameras, and we'll search every piece of equipment, every property that was damaged by this storm. This is going to probably take us all day long. I want to restate the efforts of the regional fire communities, the mutual aid system. This worked. Within 2 hours, we had members on site starting the search. So I can't thank the community, the Regency partners, which puts this together. We train for this every day. So we've got a lot of work left to do. As we quoted the injuries and some of the deaths, totally unfortunate. Hearts go out to everybody, but everybody was in the right spot. And we'll make sure we do a clean sweep of all these buildings. We won't leave any stone unturned. Thank you.
So what inspired me is the community, the way it came together, the way emergency services came together, very inspiring when you have such a tragic incident, a tornado coming through our city and causing the damage as you're all seeing. We looked at last night. We went around today looking at the damage, see what's needed, and I just recently came down from the helicopter looking at it and surveilling it from above, both on the ground and from above. It's very devastating what the community is going through, but we're going to be here for them. We're going to be here with the first responders. You heard from the governor, you heard from the mayor, you're going to hear from a state senator. You see here all our local representatives, our state reps. It's incredible how we come together, media, community. You know, this is what really makes St. Louis great. When it comes to policing, what we needed to do immediately is to make sure we mobilized our officers and got as many boots on the ground as possible to come up here and immediately take action after this tornado hit, being to be part of the search and rescue from the fire department and the medical services to get people out immediately in some of these situations, and then have a planned, coordinated response where we're working side by side with them, and then to continue to go through the night with these men and women where they're on 12-hour shifts, and we're going to continue to do that to make sure we can serve not just here around this area, we got to protect the whole city. We don't forget about the rest of the city. So we have that as well. But just to give an idea of what we were going through, between 2:40 and 7 p.m. yesterday, there was 334 calls for service. So we made sure we're able to respond to close each one of them out. And now the city has been stabilized as we're doing this action, doing search and rescue and also search and recovery, as you've heard from the fire chief on the amount of injuries. I believe we have 5 dead, 4 are here up in this area, 1 down by Carondelet Park, where a person was injured and killed in their car, and then we got close to over 30 injured, but that number might get higher, maybe minor injuries to some serious injuries. But I also just want to thank all the men and women of this department and other departments that have come here. Missouri Highway Patrol was here immediately to help us, because if you saw Kings Highway, the amount of trees that came down also prevented us from getting to here, and then all the other city services, from chainsaws to people coming out, and the mayor making sure that we got them in here as quickly as possible to clear the streets so we can get the job that we need to do to help the people that need us the most. You also talk about the city emergency management, pulling that together, coming together quickly, and then obviously you got to work with Amber and Inspire, and the amount of support that's coming in right now to help restore a lot of services. A lot of down power lines, very dangerous what was happening, but these men and women are going out there, making sure everybody's safe. And then if you see something, it's still not over. We have our officers doing grids. We're going up and down the blocks, even when we get back into darkness. We want to make sure that if you see something, say something. If you haven't heard from someone, you got to call 911. You got to let us know so we can make sure we can take the proper action to try to see if we can see something that we have not covered. Right now, you heard from the fire chief, the amount of personnel are out there going house to house, 2nd and 3rd times over. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt.
Thank you. Our heart goes out, my heart, my family's heart goes out to those affected by these storms yesterday. It is a reminder of how dangerous things can get pretty quickly with Mother Nature, and so I think the message here is that we're all very united from a federal, state, and local level to make sure that people who have been injured or have had damage get the help that they need. There's no daylight between the delegation, the federal delegation, or the mayor, or the governor in that effort. I want to thank the first responders who are still out there right now doing some really dangerous work with some buildings that have been damaged. You know, they deserve our accolades for the work that they do day and night, and that work still continues. So to law enforcement and first responders, the firefighters are out there, thank you very much. I will say that there is, for those looking for some information immediately, disasterassistance.gov is a good place to find some resources, whether it's connecting with the Salvation Army or other sort of groups that are out there that stand ready to help immediately. But you know, we've worked very closely with the governor earlier this year to unlock $47 million to make sure that we have the ability to respond during this season right now, which can be very dangerous. And I stand ready to work with the governor, the mayor, and every official out there in Missouri right now to make sure all the resources are available from the federal level as well. So
can I just add one thing? I mean, in addition to the coordinated approach here by everyone that you've heard from, the folks out on the streets last night and today, the work that the community is doing to clear their own sidewalks, their own roads, their own homes, many of which have been devastated businesses, is truly, truly amazing. We know that a lot of other folks want to get involved in this cleanup effort, and we welcome that. We will be providing some parameters around how to best do that. In the meantime, just a huge thank you. There's so many folks here who are personally impacted. Their homes are damaged. Their homes are devastated. Family members are hurt. Thank you for continuing to do the work. This is a true tragedy, but absolutely this community is coming together in a truly, truly amazing way. Thank you.
So as Mayor Spencer said, the cleanup process has started, but there is so much more work to do. It is still dangerous, which is why the city of St. Louis will continue its curfew because of power lines that are still down. You have damage across the parts of North and West St. Louis. Nails are sticking out of the ground and boards. It is for your safety that you stay home between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. and our officers will be helping enforce that curfew to protect property as well, to make sure that people are not preying on those who have been devastated. We have a few minutes for just a couple of questions. I know that there's another briefing happening with some of our department leadership here in a little bit, so we have about 5 minutes.
You mentioned ways the public can help. A lot of our viewers are asking, where can they donate, and what actions could you use, what resources could you use from the nonprofit or philanthropic communities right now?
We are getting that organized. That's a great question. We're going to be staging some things and some coordinated approach at the Urban League as a drop site. I want to be cautionary there. We're cleaning up the site and making sure they're ready for that work, but we're going to need all sorts of things, cleaning up of debris. We're going to be looking at boarding up buildings, clearing roads, that sort of thing. There's a lot of ways people can plug in food for residents. We have a lot of water and things like that, but people aren't able to cook. A lot of their electricity is down, their homes are devastated. So we'll be dispersing that information very, very soon, but look for the Urban League and look for more information to come in the coming hours.
Mayor Spencer, do you know how many people don't have power in Aspen at all?
I don't know how many people. 8,500. I thought it was. 90,000 is what I was hearing last night. I don't think that number has changed. 90,000 is what we're looking at.
Mayor, would you describe this as one of the worst storms in St. Louis history?
I would describe this as one of the worst storms, absolutely. The devastation is truly heartbreaking, and let's not forget, people have lost their lives. We are continuing to make sure that we are identifying all those that are injured, in addition to the massive amount of property damage that has taken a huge toll.
I think the fire chief mentioned a confirmed touchdown. Is it confirmed that there has been at least one tornado, and do we know how many tornadoes were in?
I can't confirm the weather terminology at this point. It certainly looks to me, especially from above, that there was a tornado. You can see a clear path. It certainly looks like that to me. Of course, I'm not an expert on that, but I would guess that that's exactly what we had here.
On federal assistance, just what kind of assurances can you provide to the people that were impacted that there will be help from FEMA, from the federal government?
I'll let the governor speak on
We're
that.
operating under an emergency order declaration that we issued from our spring storms of March 15th and again, unfortunately, in April. We just extended that order earlier this week, obviously not knowing this storm was coming, but to finish cleaning up those storms. As soon as our life safety efforts are finished in the region, making sure people are safe, then our state emergency management agency will start working with the local emergency management directors to do the assessment. Those assessments will go through FEMA Region 7, and we'll work with our congressional delegation as well as the secretary on getting that disaster declaration through. We already have one in front of the president right now from the March 15th and early April storms, and it's unfortunate. We understand how that process works. I wish I didn't understand it, because it means we wouldn't have had such devastation, but we'll work through that. And as you heard Senator Schmidt say, the federal partners will stand ready to help us. I know Congressman Bell and others are ready to do as Congressman Wagner as well. I've talked to her. And I will tell you that Mayor Spencer was on the phone with me within minutes after the tornado hit, immediately providing leadership to the area. And for day 32, for somebody who doesn't have in their book what you do when you're a mayor and something like this happens, I'm very impressed at the response she's provided, as well as the city services, both the chiefs behind me, the crews that are out on the street. We want and thanked. Every one of them just said, hey, we're just here to clean things up. And they had that St. Louis spirit that we all know is alive and well, and I can't thank the mayor and her efforts along with city services to really jump in right away and make things happen.
Governor,
One
can you
more
set
question.
some expectations on how long should people expect to wait for federal help to arrive, and what will that ultimately look like?
Well, the state and the regional emergency managers will be the first line of defense. We'll be setting up those relief centers and relief agencies. 211 is the number that people should call if they need help. And so that timeline will happen immediately. Does that mean in the next half hour, the next five hours? I don't want to get stuck in that timing. But that will be the first line of defense. And then, as we mentioned, the assessment effort is part of the process that we have to do to turn in assistance to the feds.
Is
Okay,
FEMA
guys,
walking
here's-
around?
yeah.
Because people up on the streets
Sorry.
are asking me whether it's FEMA. So do we know whether FEMA's actually here and like doing that?
Well, what I was going to say is primarily FEMA's role, depending on the assessment level, will be to backfill a lot of the work that's being done at the state and federal level, to make sure there's reimbursement for those efforts. So that way, no one's waiting. I think that's the most important thing is the mayor's doing a great job, the governor's doing a great job of making sure those resources are available and cleaning up right now and helping people who need it. And the federal government comes in and sort of backfills on those needs. And so we want to make sure that the locals here are empowered to do what they need to do, and then we'll advocate to make sure that they get reimbursed for those efforts.
Okay,
And I'll
guys.
say, we were activating to get the assessments right away, so we're not creating a lag on our end.
Guys, obviously the top priority is saving lives, still protecting property. Let the leaders go back. What I can promise you is that there will be another update today. I was just speaking with the mayor's office. We're thinking 5 p.m. This will be the media staging point today. So if there are any updates, look for them on X through the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department's X account or the City of St. Louis, and then plan on being back here at 5 p.m. for another news. 5 o'clock.
I think we're going to have an update on how we're convening
Oh, yeah.
services. We'll have an update on convening services and how you can help before 5. Unfortunately, I don't know exactly how we'll do that, but we'll get the word out through our press contacts to make sure that we have some level of organization about how people can plug in and help.
Follow our social media accounts, guys. Thank you.
This has been a 5 on Your Side special report. We now join regularly scheduled programming in progress.